Ladies and gentlemen, we are less than a week away from Vikings football. In fact, we are about a week away from this exact moment where we're waking up and saying to ourselves, oh, that's right, the Vikings won. They beat the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a great week. Or conversely, we're going to wake up and say, oh my God, how did the Vikings lose to this bum ass team? Ow! But some things happened over the weekend, the last couple of 4 or 5 days. With that said, happy belated Labor Day to you all. Adam Thielen took a pay cut, reduced his salary. Now, the Vikings, they traded for Adam Thielen and his remaining contract for this year. Adam Thielen reduced his salary by $2 million. Also agreed with the Vikings to remove the $4 million in incentives for Adam Thielen, who is going to start off as your wide receiver 2 to eventually move to your wide receiver 3. That is, and Adam Thielen at this stage in his career is a really good wide receiver 3. That is insane value because he wasn't really making much, relatively speaking, to begin with before the incentives and the reduction, or when the incentives were removed and the $2 million reduction. He already wasn't making that much to begin with, but that is crazy value. So, I mean, it's really true. Adam Thielen really wanted to come back to his hometown. And this is a guy who could very well, when you consider him being a starter the first 3 weeks to begin the season and falling back to the fourth total option for the rest of the season, when you consider Addison Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen being the fourth guy, this is a player that I would not be surprised ends up with anywhere between 750 to 850 yards total. And I want to get to Anthony Barr next because he's officially retired from the sport of football. And I knew about him turning his back on the Jets. I think this was when he was going for his second contract after his rookie contract reneged on the New York Jets, had a verbal offer with them, or agreed to a verbal offer, only to come back to the Minnesota Vikings. Like, really? But it turns out he's done it not once, but twice. Here is Anthony Barr. This is crazy.
Maybe come back in 2023 after being in Dallas for that 1 year.
Yeah, I think I had some options to go other places. I was actually in Philadelphia about to sign there when Minnesota called, and it was kind of like a no-brainer to me. It's just a place I like to be, and it's comfortable, it's familiar, and I really enjoy the way things are ran here, the structure of the organization, everything is. It just made sense at the time, and it still does. It's just like I'm a Viking. I just feel that in my heart and in my core. So there was really no. Once they called, I literally left from Philly. I was getting fitted for a helmet, and my agent called me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go to Minnesota." So just like took it off and hopped on a plane, and it was kind of messed up, but it worked out. Yeah.
Were you on a tryout at the time in Philly, or were you like?
No, I was like about to sign. Like I was going up to the GMs, to sign the papers, and I went up there and I was like, plot twist. I'm actually about to head out. So thanks for everything. The 5 minutes I've been here, but I'm good.
That is wild. That is crazy. This man reneged on another team, an outside team, only to rejoin the Vikings twice. First with the Jets, and now, from his own words, most recently with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was going to sign there, was getting fitted for a helmet. He got an alert. Oh, hell no. The Vikings are available. Everybody in this Eagles organization, I thank you for your hospitality, but I don't need to be here anymore. I'm going back to the Vikings. Anthony Barr, you're wild, man. That is crazy. But congrats on your retirement. He did 10 years in the league. 10 years of being a professional athlete, playing the sport of football at the highest level. 10 years of making damn good money. Good for you. We're going to get to the impact on the Vikings as it relates to the Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay. Didn't get a chance to react to it immediately. I was out of town, but damn it, I'm back. But first, the NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Football has never been more exciting than it is now, with players like CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson. Pick on stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. Use promo code Randy, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And just to demonstrate a walkthrough talking about daily fantasy football through Sleeper, first off, they're starting you off with a free pick, which ends in 2 days. That free pick is more than half a passing yard from Dak Prescott. Now, it ends in 2 days because this is Thursday Night Football, Cowboys versus Eagles at the link. And you can choose to select more picks within that same game if you want to, or you can go outside of that game and make additional picks if you choose to, such as, let's say, Miami versus the Indianapolis Colts. They've got Jonathan Taylor for 0.5 anytime touchdowns. I'm going to go with more. What do you want from me? And for the sake of this game, I would go 59.5 rushing yards from Devon Achane, more or less. I'm going to go more. And then once you're done making your picks, you can view the entry, you can review it, make any edits, you can go back, put in more picks if you want to, but if you're done, you can go ahead and submit that entry. Bam. And lastly, I want to talk about the Micah Parsons trade and how it impacts the Vikings. Obviously, you all know the trade happened. The Dallas Cowboys sending Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. When I first saw this trade go down, I said, you have got to be kidding me. We have to deal with this dude, a top 10 player, or worst case, top 12 player in the league. We got to deal with that guy twice a year, not just this year, but many years to come. You have got to be kidding me. But then I took a deep breath, calmed down, and I realized this, if anything, this could work out for the Vikings in their favor, or if anything, it just cancels out one another, where there is going to be no change. Where basically I'm saying I don't think this puts the Vikings in a terrible spot, because who from the Packers for the last several years have been a giant pain in the ass for the Vikings? Who from the Packers have been that thorn to Minnesota? Kenny Clark, especially going up against Garrett Bradbury. Well, Kenny Clark is gone. One of the best interior D linemen in football. And Micah Parsons, yes, he's versatile enough to where he can be both an edge, or in certain plays, you can throw him inside at the last minute, even after the snap. His versatility is crazy. But for the most part, no more Garrett Bradbury to lead the way to be the anchor against Kenny Clark. So minus Garrett Bradbury, you made the upgrade with Ryan Kelly, and then minus Kenny Clark. Ryan Kelly doesn't have to be the anchor against Kenny Clark. Micah Parsons as an edge rusher, he's going to make plays, but I strongly believe that it's going to be, if nothing else, a stalemate. You get a play here, we get a play here, versus Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. Those are 2 dogs, 2 of the best offensive tackles in the league. So if anything, the run game for the Vikings, led by Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, the run game should be strong. That should be our advantage against the Packers moving forward against their defense. Plus, going to their offense, Jordan Love still has to prove himself. I thought he was that guy after his first year as a starter. The second the back half of his first year as a starter. And then the following year, it just wasn't all that great. It was okay, but it was nothing to raise hell about. I think he has a lot to prove this year. So if you can run the football against this team, which you will have plenty of opportunities to do so, as well as this defense make plays against Jordan Love until he can prove that he can get the better of this Brian Flores defense, I like the Vikings' chances. I don't remember if I picked the Vikings to sweep. I think maybe to split the series. Man, you know what? After this trade, as wild as it sounds, I am going to take the Vikings to sweep Green Bay this 2025 season. Live streams are just about back, damn it. Starting Monday Night Football versus the Chicago Bears. We're going to do it every game. Christmas, we'll see. That's a bit dicey, but the live streams are going to be back. Can't wait. It's going to be a party. We will see you next time.